Have you ever really thought about why some people seem to need a dog in their life? I'm not talking about just liking dogs, but needing that chaotic, high-energy, furry companion. Well, it turns out it goes so much deeper than just wanting a pet. We're going to explore the psychology of the dog lover, and here's the spoiler. It's all about how you regulate your own nervous system.
I want you to really put yourself in this moment. You know the feeling. You walk through that door after a day that has just completely wrung you out. It felt like a slow drain on your soul, and you are just totally and utterly spent.
But instead of finding peace and quiet, what you get is a collision. This 60-pound ball of pure joy slams into you, treating your arrival like it's the single greatest event in the history of the world. They're not just happy you're home, they're throwing a full-on parade and you're the only one invited.
And that moment right there, that joyous collision, is exactly what we need to talk about first. Because for a certain kind of person, this isn't an annoyance, it's not an interruption. No, it's a reset button. You actually crave that chaos.
Think about it. Some people would find that level of energy completely overwhelming, just too much. But for you, it's the exact opposite. That intense, chaotic, over-the-top greeting is precisely what your system needs to shake off the day. It's the only thing that makes the world feel right again.
So, this brings us to this huge misconception that's out there. You know, people see the constant walks, the strict feeding times, the endless games of fetch, and they don't get it. They see a long list of chores. But you see a partner in the noise.
And this is the question they always ask, right? Why on earth would anyone voluntarily sign up for what looks like a mountain of work? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Not everybody recharges their batteries the same way.
And this is where you see the two paths diverge. On one hand, you have people who regulate by downshifting. They need stillness, quiet, a way to turn the volume of the world way, way down. But on the other hand, there's you. You thrive on turning the volume up. You find your balance through engagement, through activity, through that constant buzzing interaction.
And because of this need for engagement, you might even get a label slapped on you. People might look at your life, at your choice in pets, and call you high maintenance. They wonder why you can't just sit still and relax. But what they don't realize is they are missing the entire point.
Okay, so now let's get into the science of what is actually happening under the hood. Because this isn't just some random personality quirk. It's a deep psychological need. This is the real reason you chose your dog. Or maybe the reason your nervous system chose your dog for you.
It really boils down to 4 key ways that your dog is actively regulating your nervous system. We're talking about something called activity-based regulation, the power of mirroring excitement, your hidden need for structure, and having a much higher threshold for stimulation.
So first up, activity-based regulation. Here's the big idea. For some of us, balance isn't found in quiet meditation. It's found in doing something. The simple act of throwing a ball, of going for a brisk walk, that physical engagement provides the external feedback your brain craves to feel centered and, believe it or not, calm.
Next is this idea of mirroring excitement. You know how you can get stuck in your own head, looping the same stressful thoughts over and over? That energy just stagnates. Well, your dog's explosive joy is so powerful, it forces your own emotional state to kind of match its frequency, even just for a minute. It breaks that cycle and gets your own energy moving forward again.
And this is probably one of the most misunderstood parts. All that work, it's not work, it's a framework. Those daily walks you have to take, that provides structure to your day. The set feeding times, that keeps your brain grounded in a reliable routine. And that constant demand to play, it actually makes you feel productive and needed. It gives your life a rhythm.
And finally, there's this idea of a stimulation threshold. That constant nudge of a wet nose, the pause on your lap, the whining at the door. Yeah, to an outsider, that could seem like pure overstimulation. But to your brain, it registers as vitality. It's a constant physical reminder that you are not alone, which for your nervous system is a deeply profound signal of safety.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've talked about the what and the how, but now we're getting to the real heart of it, the why. This is all about finding a very special kind of connection, one that you can't get just anywhere. And this, right here, is the ultimate truth. You weren't looking for another item to add to your to-do list. You were searching for a connection without performance. A relationship where you don't have to put on a show.
I mean, just look at the difference. With humans, relationships can be exhausting, right? You're always having to read the room,
manage all these complex, unspoken feelings, and so often you have to be the reliable one. But with your dog, it's all loud, honest, and totally transparent. There is zero guessing involved. To them, you don't have to perform. You are simply their hero.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Whether you have a dog, a cat, or no pet at all, your preferences are telling you something really profound. It's not just about what you like, it's a huge clue about what your nervous system is desperately searching for to feel balanced, to feel safe, and to feel like yourself. So, what's yours telling you?